Most people believe Hannibal was Rome's greatest enemy. They're wrong. Rome faced another empire, one that repeatedly defeated Roman armies and remained unconquered for centuries. In 53 BC, 40,000 Roman soldiers marched into the desert at Carrhae. Fewer than half came back. The force that destroyed them numbered barely 9,000 mounted warriors. And this was only the beginning. Around 245 BC, a nomadic steppe, people known as the Parni, swept out of the Central Asian grasslands. Led by the Arsacid dynasty, they overthrew Andragoras, the local ruler of the Seleucid Empire, and established a new power in the region. Unlike Rome, which built its power on concrete roads and rigid administrative centers, the Parthian state grew from nomadic roots. This society organized itself around a decentralized feudal monarchy where the king shared authority with powerful noble families such as the Surin clan. This political structure was built for mobility rather than central control. When threats emerged, these aristocratic families raised private cavalry forces from their own estates. The result was a flexible imperial network that lacked a single, vulnerable capital for an invader to crush. This decentralized foundation made the empire nearly impossible for Rome to permanently dismantle. In 124 BC, Mithridates II took the throne and began forging this loose confederation into a structured, expansive power. Over a 33-year reign, he stabilized Babylonia, pacified border regions, and pushed the empire's reach from the Euphrates to the Indus. Rather than enforcing direct, rigid control, Mithridates ruled through a layered system of satrapies and client kingdoms. He broadcast this political legitimacy across his domain using silver coinage. On these coins, he replaced the traditional Greek diadem with a tall Iranian tiara claiming the ancient title, King of Kings. This monetary propaganda circulated along vast trade routes, reinforcing his authority across Central Asia. He established secure caravan corridors, protecting merchant wealth and enriching the royal treasury. When Roman diplomats eventually reached the Euphrates, they confronted a mature, wealthy empire with extensive administrative roots and immense structural resilience. In the late 50s BC, Roman expansion toward the Euphrates arose from personal ambition rather than state strategy. Marcus Licinius Crassus was the wealthiest citizen in Rome, having amassed an immense fortune through real estate speculation. Yet within the first triumvirate, the informal alliance that dominated the Republic, Crassus stood in the shadow of Julius Caesar and Pompey the Great. His partners possessed grand military achievements. Crassus possessed only gold. To secure a triumph, the ultimate prize in Roman political life, he bypassed senatorial oversight and personally financed an army of 7 legions. This expedition was a private enterprise masquerading as foreign policy. Driven by a desperate need for parity, Crassus dismissed warnings about the arid Syrian environment and the structural strength of the Parthian state. Before a single soldier crossed the Euphrates, the campaign suffered from a fundamental handicap. It was planned in isolation and launched to resolve domestic rivalries, initiating a disastrous pattern of eastern overreach. The core of Parthian military supremacy rested on a weapon of sophisticated engineering, the composite bow. Unlike simple wooden bows, this weapon was constructed from a laminated core of wood, reinforced with layers of flexible animal sinew on the back to absorb tension, and compressed horn on the belly to withstand immense pressure. This advanced design generated nearly 3.5 times the force of a standard wooden bow, propelling heavy armor-piercing arrows over 200 meters with lethal velocity. Parthian horsemen mastered this weapon from early childhood, developing the physical coordination to control their mounts using only their knees, Riding at a full gallop, they drew arrows from specialized quivers strapped to their thighs, maintaining a relentless rate of fire while remaining completely mobile. Their signature tactic, the Parthian shot, exploited this agility. During a feigned retreat, riders spun backward in their saddles to unleash precise volleys at pursuing forces. This doctrine of continuous mounted harassment completely neutralized the heavy infantry systems of the Mediterranean. Roman legionaries trained for disciplined close-quarters combat behind large rectangular shields found themselves immobilized under a constant rain of iron. They could neither close the distance to strike with their short swords, nor escape the range of an enemy that refused to stand still, turning Roman discipline into a fatal vulnerability. The constant arrow storm is only the first phase of a layered battlefield design. Once the Roman infantry huddles under their shields, to survive the barrage, the Parthians deploy their heavy shock cavalry, the cataphracts. These elite riders and their mounts are encased in overlapping plates of bronze and iron scale armor. The horses, protected by this heavy barding, can charge directly into enemy lines with minimal risk from defensive fire, ensuring the attack maintains its crushing momentum. Sponsored and equipped by the wealthy Parthian aristocracy, these noble warriors carry the kontos, a massive wooden lance up to 4 meters long. The true strength of the Parthian military lies in this coordinated system. While the light archers force the legions into dense, static defensive rings, the armored cataphracts exploit these tight targets, driving their lances deep into the packed Roman formations. Rome's military system has no answer for both tactics at once. If the legionaries disperse to chase the elusive archers, they are trampled by the heavy cavalry. If they form a tight wall to resist the lances, they are slowly destroyed by armor-piercing arrows. This layered network of speed and impact turns Roman discipline into a vulnerability, exposing the physical limits of Mediterranean warfare. In 40 BC, Parthian crown prince Pacorus I spearheaded an invasion deep into Roman Syria. Rome countered with Publius Ventidius Bassus, an adaptable commander who utilized hilly terrain to neutralize the mobile cavalry, killing Pacorus in battle. Yet these tactical adaptations did not secure the frontier. Armenia remained a contested buffer zone, its allegiance swinging constantly between east and west. Even when Rome mobilized its full imperial might, permanent conquest remained elusive. In 115 AD, Emperor Trajan launched a massive campaign capturing the capital of Ctesiphon and reaching the Persian Gulf. But his overextended army broke against the desert fortress of Hatra. This heavily fortified city repeatedly repelled Roman siege engines, forcing Trajan and later emperors to withdraw. Rome could win spectacular battles and penetrate deep into Mesopotamia, but it could never hold the east. The frontier was ultimately defined by money and structure, not just legions. Parthia controlled the primary Silk Road arteries connecting China to the Mediterranean. By taxing the flow of silk, spices, and precious stones at fortified checkpoints, the royal treasury secured a constant stream of caravan revenue. For Rome, attempting to permanently absorb this territory risked shattering the very trade networks that supplied its own elite. Beyond economics, Rome suffered from a systemic mismatch. The Republic's political system rewarded individual generals seeking rapid, glorious victories, leading to fragmented command and strategic overreach. Parthia, conversely, relied on a highly decentralized feudal network that could lose its capital and simply retreat into the vast Iranian plateau. Distant logistics, unforgiving desert terrain, and endless supply lines punished the heavy Roman legions. Rome's failure in the east was not a series of tactical accidents. but a structural limit of empire. The decentralized system that shielded Parthia from Roman legions eventually fractured from within. Local aristocrats and rival royal branches fought constantly for the throne, transforming regional autonomy into political fragility. In 224 AD, Ardashir I, a local ruler from Persis, capitalized on this exhaustion. He defeated the last Arsacid king, Artabanus V, and established the Sasanian dynasty. Parthia fell to internal rebellion rather than Roman legions. The incoming Sasanian state centralized administrative control while preserving the elite cataphract cavalry traditions, ensuring that Rome's formidable eastern rival had merely evolved. The ruins of the East still remind us that even the mightiest empires have limits. Rome's legacy is defined not just by its conquests, but by the rival it could never break. Some borders simply refuse to bend. Subscribe for more deep dives into history's greatest conflicts.